Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have a bit of a discussion today about the mechanic that is probably, honestly, going to kill Genshin Impact if it isn't dead already. And of course, that mechanic is right here from the live stream, the masterless Stella Fortuna. Because boy, oh boy, is this one of the most ridiculous sort of situations we've ever seen, where developers like this have decided to go ahead and promote even more and more pay-to-win in their game. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they have effectively unlocked level 100. And the way that you get to level 100 is, of course, by pulling multiple dupes beyond C6 of 5-star characters. Wow, extremely player-friendly. The idea over here, right, is that when a character reaches level 100, that's essentially a close to 40% increase in their overall elemental reaction damage if it's like a transformative one, right? Think like shit like Bloom and stuff like that, right? It also is going to release some of the damage restrictions that you have from being under-leveled relative to an enemy. The way that Genshin and a lot of these level-based games work, right, is that when you're at level 90, and your opponent is level 100, you simply just deal less damage to them because you're lower level than them. And so having that boost to 100 against enemies that are, you know, also level 100 or even level 110, like in Stygian Onslaught, well, it's a huge, huge damage increase relative to being level 90. So when you know that you have pay-to-win mechanics built into the system over here, and you have pay-to-win game modes, like Stygian Onslaught, where you need C6 characters, what do you think is probably going to occur? You're probably going to need not just C6 characters at level 90, you're probably going to need C6 characters at level 100. So get ready to go ahead. And of course, get that one Stella Fortuna from, you know, C7ing the character. Get them up to level 90 or 95, and then you got to use 2 more dupes to get them to level 100. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is no longer just C6ing the newest unit. You got to go to C9, and good golly fucking G, C9 over C6 to reach the full potential of your character. Who could have thought? Naturally, right, there are, like, some slight alterations to the system, right? Because of, like, how, like, the 50-50 loss is going to work. I think there's something that I can, like, show over here. Because of how, like, 50-50 losses work and stuff like that, like, you know, your standard characters, if you are big whaling in that situation anyways, they probably will be C6. And so when you get an extra copy of them, you'll be able to get Stella Fortuna over there. But naturally, right, that's not very much of a help for people that don't have C6 standard characters. And believe me when I say this, a lot of people don't have C6 standard characters because they're not pulling that much on the game's banners. And this game also gives out, like, 50 pulls a patch if you're free to play. So, not really a reachable circumstance for a lot of players, right? And you can probably begin to understand where the problems are beginning to form for a lot of people. Especially knowing that, well, this bullshit game mode is in the game, and you can see firsthand, right, from this thumbnail, what level those enemies are, and we just talked about the benefits of being higher level against content like this. That's the situation. Let's see how the Genshin Impact community is handling it, ladies and gentlemen. And a bit of a spoiler warning, they're kind of pissed. I potentially have never seen the Genshin Impact community rally around something like this. Perhaps Gacha is actually saved. You can see for this post over here. So we all agree the way they're handling level 100 is absolutely horrifying design. Sorry, horrible design, right? Needing a C7 5-star just to get one of these Fortunas and needing C8 to get another level for 100 is just, wow, pay to win out the ass. You actually need C9. You need 2 more, buddy. So he's actually understating. He's this pissed off, and he's actually understating how much you have to spend. It's not C8. That will only get you halfway to level 100. You need C9. You need 2 of them. So, yeah. W. And this thing has 7.2k upvotes a day ago. I think it might be the top upvoted post on the subreddit. Let's just see this month's top upvoted posts. Okay, of course. Yeah, what did I expect from this community? Okay, surely we can go to a week. Okay. You know what? Never mind. I was perhaps expecting a little bit too much from this player base. Yeah, there's still, it's maybe like in the top 10. So, yeah, Nahida is I guess more popular than whatever. No comment. Anyways, let's read some of the commentary from this community, because I think that there's quite a bit that they're actually spitting over here. I think it's weird that it looks like they don't have a 4-star character version of this, because, well, I think this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. To raise your 4-star characters from 90 to 100, you're going to have to use the Masterless Stella Fortuna. You're going to have to use the excess dupes for your 5-star units. Yeah, I don't think that they have a 4-star system. And so the only way to level up your 4-star characters is to pull dupes of 5-star characters. I'm going to be real, guys. That makes almost no fucking sense at all. Shouldn't they just, like, I understand that you get like a coral refund, right? Or sorry, yeah, you get like the extra star glitter, right? You need 5-star character dupes to level up 4-star units? I'm just gonna be honest, guys. That like mentality, that just sort of like system fundamentally makes no fucking sense. Because why in God's name would you have to, like, it's just something that logically doesn't work, but the devs have decided to put it in the fucking game. So, yeah, we have even more people complaining, right? Because of the fact that, A, the 4-star Star Glitter shop has been almost the same since release. They have the exact same 1.04 stars in that store, and they haven't updated it at all. And guess what, guys? They're making the system even worse with the addition of this masterless bullshit. So, yeah, I think the community is rightfully extremely upset over here. Let's keep reading. Let's see what some of the other comments are. 50-50 winners in shambles right now. Yeah, in a way, ladies and gentlemen, depending on the state of your account and how long you've been playing and how much you spent and pulled, in some ways, winning a 50-50 can, like... I guess fuck you over, but then, you know, there's a lot more incentives for, like, losing one. You can see how the system's working over here. It's just really, really, really preferential to those that are spending a fuck ton of money on the game and pulling a bunch of dupes. And, you know, let's just be honest here, pulling out every single banner that's coming out. And if you're not doing that, you receive almost no benefits at all. It's just a pure whale mechanic. And when you know this is how the devs are just balancing their game by adding bullshit like Stygian Onslaught, guess what, guys? This reset 3 weeks ago is worse than the reset that they had before. Because this battle-hardened sombrero motherfucker literally requires a Nefa to be able to clear him. You need the newest 5-star character to interact with his mechanics. She also needs to be C6 to clear it on dire difficulty. And guess what is probably going to be next reset? She's going to need to be a C6 level 100 unit 2, because her reaction, well, guess what? The reaction damage from Lunar Charge, which she provides, is going to scale with those excess levels. And so that's probably what's going to be needed. Hopefully you're beginning to see where the issues are over here and where it's, the cookie's beginning to crumble a little bit. People have already seen the writing on the wall. Believe me when I say this. If they included this Masterless Stella Fortuna shit, but they didn't have Stygian Onslaught in the game, there wouldn't be that many people complaining about it. If they included this Masterless Stella Fortuna situation, and let's just take a look at this video from 4 months ago, and they weren't HP inflating the game the most that they have in 5 years, then maybe people wouldn't be complaining as much. But when you're in a situation where everything surrounding the game, when it comes to the content, is clearly becoming more and more tailored for whales and heavy spenders and people that are pulling multiple constellations and multiple weapons to be able to keep up with it, then guess what, guys? They're gonna get pissed off when you start adding ways for people to strengthen their characters by spending thousands of dollars in the game after you have set the stage with massive amounts of HP inflation and the addition of new pay-to-fucking-win game modes. And I am glad that it seems like the dam has actually burst when it comes to the Genshin Impact community. Perhaps they're finally going to take a stand against the bullshit that these devs have been doing that has been publicly talked about since almost half of a year ago, but now the community seems to be waking up. It just took a lot of the most predatory changes the industry has ever seen, but it seems like this is the straw that broke the camel's back. But hey guys, you know what? It's kind of deserved at this point, right? You've been warned about it. Content creators that you said were just being toxic. Content creators that you said were just promoting comparing waves. that they just intentionally hate the games, that they don't want it to get better. You said that about every single CEC that was critiquing the bullshit predatory practices that Hoyoverse was doing. You said that months ago, and now that all of this is working out this way, oh, now we're in agreement. Hoyoverse maybe is fucking up. Oh, who could have thought? Who could have seen that one coming? You do, in fact, reap what you sow. And so this is the thing, right? I'm laughing. I think this is fucking hilarious. I think it's objectively amazing that a community could have blinders on to this high of a degree, that you were literally warned about this over close to half of a year ago, and all you did was just talk shit. Make excuses for the developers and say, oh, HP inflation isn't real. Oh, it's just a skill issue. Look, I cleared it with Look, I went to lose, cleared it with 4-star characters after resetting for 300 times and spending 2 days getting the footage. Look, he managed to get one run out of 1,000 where he was able to clear it with 4-star units. There's no HP inflation. Go fuck yourself. That's just how it is. And the thing is, it's so deserved. It is so cathartic for me to see this community basically have the realization that, wow, maybe those Wuthering Wave CCs, they weren't making these videos because they just want to promote gacha tribalism. Maybe it's because there were actual fucking issues that they were trying to communicate, and you were just so Hoyo-pilled that you couldn't accept it. Everybody should pretty much be in full agreement that this is awful for the game, and that this is just going to set the stage for needing level 100 to be able to clear the endgame modes, much like how they've mandated you pull the characters. It's not enough to just pull the characters. You gotta pull them and pull 9 copies of them too. But this is the thing, right? People are still going to be defending this because they were defending it back then. There's a lot less people defending this bullshit now, but there are still going to be defenders. So let's read some of the garbage that these individuals have managed to come up with. First, let me state my personal verdict on this whole mechanic. Level 100 is practically a cosmetic. This is misinformation. This is a complete lie. Level 100 provides so many damage boosts to your character that we've already talked about before with the transformative reactions and then how like the level difference impacts your actual outgoing damage against enemies. This is misinfo. So, yeah, they're just, I'm glad that we're aware of it in sentence number 2 of the post. Don't worry though, we'll read the rest. Now, let me state the obvious upset about this mechanic. They don't know how to write English either. This mechanic is primarily exclusive to whales, some day one players, and really lucky people. Truthfully, the average casual free-to-play is most likely not going to see it. Okay, whatever. It's just, now they literally just talked about how it's pay to win. Let's hear the defense. But this is something that should not be worried about. I wonder how much Hoyo is paying this guy to write this shit. Because it logically makes no sense for them to scale based on a level 100. They have content that's scaled to level 110. And part of the reason why it feels almost mandatory to use C6 units is because the level difference reduces your outgoing damage so much. These guys literally are just spreading misinfo about existing game modes and existing enemies to try to create this narrative that this change isn't an issue. Imagine if Hoyo scaled Floor 12 Abyss based on CC. They already have a new endgame mode that's based off of you having C6 characters. It's like they're talking about like imagining all of this stuff is already in here. And you want to know the best part about all of this? You would imagine that a post like this should actually have like 0 upvotes, right? Be downvoted into infinity because of all of like the ridiculous assumptions, the actual misinfo that's in it. But it has 1,000 upvotes, an award, and a bunch of comments, and people saying true. Guys, I guess this is the thing. I'm just glad that there's 7.2k over here and only 1k over here. But the fact that there's already this many people agree with this absolute potion of bullshit that they've crafted over here, and there are people just drinking it and then like typing all this dumb shit in the comments. It's absurd. I cannot believe that the Genshin Impact community is in the state that it's in. Oh wait, I can. Because There's another issue that's been forming as well, right? I think a lot of you are probably familiar with, well, if you're not familiar with him already, you'll get acquainted right now. You're probably all familiar with this creator over here. We got Flip Me AC. And boy, oh boy, this gentleman has been on the front lines. He's been on the front lines going ahead and trying to defend the level 100 updates as well. And guess what, guys? Holy shit, he's posting a lot. Like, imagine every single post being about level 100 and defending it. We're even making fucking PowerPoint graphics to talk about how the damage increase isn't that significant. Probably just fucking up our own calculations. Guys, hint. He's lying. He's lying. He doesn't actually understand how the level difference impacts DPS. He's incorporated the raw stat increases from going from level 90 to 100 and put in no other calculations to define that. You can see over here, it's just based off the base stats, not the level reduction. And he said, look, guys, the damage is basically the same. Look, level 100 doesn't do anything. Look, it's not really power creep, guys. This is why you don't trust data from people that absolutely have no idea how to do any math at all. Ladies and gentlemen, you will now have Theorycrafters going ahead, fucking up calculations, and then using that to spread even more misinfo. After just straight up Reddit posts lying about the game, you now have CCs that are lying through their calculations to spread the narrative that, hey, guys, all this bullshit the Genshin Impact devs are doing, it's perfectly fine. And so this is my suggestion for the community. Clearly, there are some level-headed people over here. Clearly, there's at least 7,200 individuals who have realized that this is going way too far, that these devs are making the game way too pay to win. And what these individuals need to do is just go ahead and cut ties with the absolute clowns in their community. This guy is so desperate for a Hoyo contract, he's spreading misinformation about this level 100 bullshit to try to garner up as much goodwill he can in the Hoyo community. But guess what, guys? What you guys need to do if you want the game to actually be better is just disown these dumb motherfuckers. I don't really know what else to say. Just disown these guys. Oh, never mind. He's already been disowned. Yeah, never mind. Maybe just continue business as usual. Hey, DJ Smart, I appreciate the sub, but alerts are off now. Yeah, maybe just continue business as usual, because the guy is, I never mind. It was never a competition. Well, I guess he's describing his YouTube channel with this one, because holy fuck. Some people, they might be able to farm some likes on Twitter, but the real ones will know that doesn't mean you can actually make good content. So yeah, maybe the Genshin community doesn't. Maybe the Genshin community doesn't actually need to do anything after all. Maybe they are cleaning themselves up, and they've realized that the shills like this are some of the ones actively killing the game, and it looks like they're not really giving them that much support. So W to the Genshin Impact community for this one. This is fucked. This entire situation is fucked. And I feel like the leash that Hoyoverse has put the players on has become a lot shorter and shorter, and people are beginning to actually sniff out the bullshit. It turns out there's only so many predatory pay-to-win things you can do in a single year, and Stygian Onslaught was a straw.
不想赚钱.
The HP inflation that's been close to 100% over the past 4 months, that was another straw. Enemy mechanics that you literally are not able to complete unless you have certain specific characters like Skirk and that ice automaton piece of shit, where they're adding specific enemies like this, where if you don't apply enough cryo, they will one-shot you. And if you do apply enough cryo, they literally don't do anything. They just sit there and they're a fucking training dummy. Mechanics like that were another straw. And then, well, ladies and gentlemen, right? This bullshit over here with this Stella Fortuna shit, saying this dumb fucking stuff and then following up with Genshin Impact doesn't want to make money, right? As a joke in their live stream after showcasing the most predatory mechanic that playerbase has ever seen. I think that this is finally the straw that breaks the camel's back. And boy, oh boy, am I excited to see the fallout. Because we've warned this community for the longest time. We've been telling you for close to a year what they're doing to this game. And now, I guess, people are starting to listen. So I will farm the fuck out of this situation. I will farm it so hard because I have been there. I've done that. I've seen how the cookie is made, and boy oh boy, it's gonna be really fun taking the believers on a bit of a ride, because yeah, I think it's only gonna get worse, and there's only gonna be more stuff to talk about when it comes to how Hoyoverse keeps ruining their games. That's that, ladies and gentlemen. I think we covered everything when it comes to this entire issue. There are probably more comments we could read, but of course, I think that, you know, this can be something that you do on, like, on the toilet seat or something. Let me know what you all thought. Peace.